morning everyone, it's Rachel here with Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, and I have Cantha stitched all of my piece. I'm going to hold it up close so hopefully you can see. I just did it with the crochet, the antique or vintage crochet thread. So it's all cat, and I love the feel of it, and it took a while, 2 evenings of watching TV and doing it, but well worth it. So, and I also did the red stitching around everything. So now I'm going to add a few more embellishments. So it's got kind of got a natural fold like that. I'm going to add a few yo-yos or Suffolk puffs. Let me just grab my circle thing. So someone asked, could I show how to make them? I've shown it before, and my sister's shown it, but we'll show it again. I'll just grab this fabric. I'm not going to use it on here. I'm going to use old ones, but I'll still show how to do them. And I'll use I think it's a 3-inch circle. Let's see. Just draw around it with a pen. Oh, well that was good. Didn't do anything. Does the pen work? Yes, now it does. Okay, and we'll cut that out. Oops, dropped my other scissors in the rubbish. So how is everyone today? I hope you're well. So I've been thinking about how we've got an extra Wednesday in January, and so I'm really keen to show you my closure. So next week I will show that, then you cut out your circle, sorry. I'll show you my closure, how to make what I'm going to use for the closure. And then in the final week, which will be the 5th Wednesday, I'm actually going to put it all together. So today we're going to finish embellishing and prepare the lining. And I'm also going to add a pocket. So I wanted to show you how I was going to do that. But I'll stitch it all together in the last week when I have my closure ready. Then you just need to grab some thread. It doesn't have to be super long. And so you can do them, I sometimes even just do them raw edge. So you would do a running stitch just around the edge like that and then pull. Or you can do it where you fold it down as you go and you get, oh, helps if you put a knot in your thread. That is a useful thing to do. Okay, so I don't have a very long piece of thread because I'm going to be pulling it. So just fold it down as you go. It's a bit more laborious, but you get the neat center. And I am no Suffolk puff expert. I'm not an expert really on anything. I just make it up as I go, which for me is a lot of fun. So I'm not trying to be perfect or anything like that. So I'm just doing running stitch, folding a little bit over, so sort of like hemming it, folding it over as I go and running stitch. I told you the size of the circle because they do end up quite a bit smaller. So I wanted to see what size Suffolk puff are we going to get from that circle. I'm sure there's a ratio or some sort of proportion that you get, and I don't know it. And you can make them any size. They can be mini. Mum makes a lot of mini ones. They're really cute. Again, another wonderful thing to sit in front of the TV and do if you need a whole lot of Suffolk puffs or yo-yos, as they are called in some countries, including Australia. We call them, we'll kind of use both, depends. but usually we say yo-yo. Well, I do. I think my sister does too. But I'm sure my English granny would say Suffolk puff. Would have said. She's not with us anymore. Okay. And then I put my finger in the middle and I just pull it. Really easy. You can see I didn't really use very much thread and just sort of wiggle that so you get it in the center. And you can give them an iron if you want to. And then you just need to end it off so it stays pulled. And there we have a yo-yo. And so look how small that is. That was a 3-inch circle, and now it became, oh, like almost half, 1.5 inches, a bit more. But if I were to, yeah, about 1.5 inches. So I guess it goes half. And there we have one. Isn't that cute? Right. So that's how you make them. Now I have some old ones here. I've been sneezing all morning. That's why I've got the sniffles. I've got some old ones, and I thought so Katherine was saying I had like this plain bit, but I like to break up. I don't like to have it all patterned. That's why I do that. Let's open it out. I really like there to be a bit of breathing space. So I've got 2 florals. I like to have a stripe or a check or a spot, or maybe a few. And then I like to have something plain, whether it be a linen like that or an antique hemp, because I just think it gives a bit of a breathing space. And it's got all the stitching there and that, but I am going to add, I think I'm going to add this yellow puff there, and I think I will stitch it on. No, I'm not going to do it with the red. I don't like that. I'm going to stitch it on with this one. It's got a bit of dust on it actually. I couldn't find it. I tidied up my desk the other day and I found it. I'm going to stitch it on with this thread. Egyptian cotton. I don't know what brand it was. I think it was one of the ones that like Sue Spargo has. So I'm going to stitch that on. And that will be the it for the back. And then I'll fold it and show you. And I'm just going to do the overcast stitch on the back. I mean on the little stitches. I've got to remind myself, little stitches. I'm not zooming in. Well, you can kind of see I'm not zooming in because I'll go off screen, and you don't really need to see it zoomed in. It's just little teeny tiny stitches going over the edge to hold it down. A little knot in there. so it's hard to hold. Nearly there. And then we'll fold it up and have a look. So I did consider doing embroidery onto the flowers, but I don't think I really need to. I think there's a lot going on. And so for this one, I'm not going to do any sort of embroidery on the, you know, the printed flowers on the fabrics, which I have done a lot in the past. Okay, so that's that one. Let's fold it up so you can have a look. It's going to be like, oh gosh, I love it. And yeah, I think that's enough because there's all the stitches. There's a few bits there. I've got this coming over it, and then that's on there as well. And I don't think I need any more. Any more would be overkill. So here, I did want to add a couple of Suffolk puffs as well. So I think I'm going to add this one here, sort of like that. And this one, because I want to have 3, is going to go there. So I'm not covering that flower, but it sort of ties in the colours as well. So I think I'll pause the camera and I'll go ahead and stitch those on. And then we're going to look at the lining and how I'm going to put the pocket in. And then the next week, we're going to prepare the buttons, making the button, guy. We're making buttons, and you won't even be able to guess how I'm going to do them. Okay, so those are going to be stitched down on there, and then I'll come back and we'll have a look at it. See you in a minute. So I've stitched my bits down. There they are, just little teeny tiny stitches to hold them down. And now we're going to look at the lining. And oh, excuse me, I have chosen this fabric. This is a Boussac fabric. It's a French fabric, and it's not overly old. They are, or someone was using it for something. It's been tacked together. I think it's an older company, but I've had this fabric, old one of this fabric, but this is not. This was stock by an upholsterer. Now, what I want to do is I'm just going to lay it. This is how I make things. I don't measure. I lay it on top, and I'm just going to cut. I want to cut it bigger than my piece, so I'm just going to cut. Just checking I've got one layer across there. I don't want any funny shaped pieces of fabric. Cut across there. And then I'm going to trim down here. Just eyeball it, because I'm debating how I'm going to put it together. So we're going to have a little look at that. Okay, so there's a nice piece of fabric that can be cut up and go into my fabric packs. Right, so I'm considering it wouldn't work there, but whether now here and at here, I'm going to tuck it under. So let me show you. I'm not going to do it now because we're going to do that. Well, I might do this bit. Decisions. I'm just going to fold it under like that. Let's pin it. And I'll just do a little whip stitch across there, and that will hold that in place. I'm thinking I'm going to leave that little fluffy edge there. I quite like that. So I could, at this point, you could also insert a lace or a trim in there if you wanted to. We might think about that, but that's why I'm not going to stitch it now. I'll make those decisions in the last video. But I just wanted to give you an idea here what's going to happen. So that's going to go there like that. No, under a bit further. I just need to get this worked out for because I want to do my pocket, and I might just fold that over there. I've got pins stuck in my mat over here. So that's going to be there and there. And I'll just put a few pins along here to hold it so it stays flat. So another thing that could have happened was this could have been put on before I did the cantha stitching, and it could have been done afterwards, like everywhere, and been would be a bit like quilting sort of thing. So that's that. Now this is one of the decisions I will have to make. Do I want to fold this over? I would like, or maybe I need it to cut a bit more, but I might be able to manage it like this. I would iron it maybe, or maybes. And fold, just have a little edge like this. Let's just see. So these are things I'm going to be thinking about before, you know, before I decide to do it. Just roll it over, and that will get rid of all of the edges. Now my only issue is where I have the lace, because I've already stitched that down. I might be able to just sort of wing it a little bit and just catch it there. I think I'll leave that for a second, and then I just want to fold it up and have a look. So that will go in there like so, and then that one's going to wrap around, so I'm not worried about that. I don't know what's happening there. Any more pins? Oh, I've got a few more. So let's just do those, and then I think I like this idea, but I just want to fold it up. Let's fold it up and see, do we like it? Well, I need to like it because it's my pouch. So normally I do the raw edge binding. I like that with all the scraps, but this time I'm thinking I might like this. So let's just have a little look, and it does finish it off nicely. Just fold that like so, and then that would come down, and I do quite like that. Yes, that's what I'm going to do. Now my next job to decide, that's crooked, is my pocket, and I thought I might use this ticking, and I'm just going to fold that up because I need to know this here. So let me just put that in there. Now my pocket, however, is not going to be attached at the bottom, is it? I can attach it. I'll leave it a bit longer. That's what I'll do. So I saw K3, I'll link her channel, I can't remember what video it was. She was making a pouch, and she made her piece longer. She made her piece longer, just say this was my lining. She made it longer, and then she folded it up like so. So just pretend it was all attached, and then when you open the pouch, she had a pocket like that. That's another way you can do it, but I wanted to do it my old method that I used to do when I used to make things. I do make things now, different things. Now, just a minute. I'll get my act together. Just hold your horsies. So I just need to make it a little bit longer. So I need to put this, I'm going to cut it out like this, you see. And then I need to go here to there. So I'm going to cut along this line. You'll be dying. You'll probably think, oh my gosh, you're going to cut your thing. I probably am. Just going to cut that off. I don't want to have to work out my fold again. I told you, this is honestly the way I do it. I just am the worst. I don't like getting my ruler out and measuring and doing all that. It's okay, we've ripped that. Okay, got it. So this is my pocket. And then what I'm going to do is have this. I may just stitch across the top of it, just do a running stitch. And I'm going to have, so I could stitch, let me just work this out, because I can attach this. I need, so Katherine's, her name's Katherine, her method would have been the best, but I think I'm just going to stitch that on there, and then you won't, I mean, you'll hardly notice it, and that will be up like that. I may need to shorten it a bit. That will be up like that, and it will be like this, and then you'll have the pocket in there, and you won't even see that I stitched it there. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to running stitch along there, and then I'll whip stitch this down so it's neat, and that will be how I'm going to put my pocket in. And then I do need to trim it a little bit so it's not coming over the sides, and I'm going to actually cut it a little bit shorter, and then when I stitch up my sides here, I will catch the pocket as well, but I think I will overcast the pocket. I want to do it when I've stitched in my lining. I'm just going to trim this off because it's a bit long. So I'm going to, you don't need to worry about this until now. If you want to add the pocket, you can find the video on Kay's if you want to do it that way. I think this way will work just fine. Still need to trim. I know I need to trim a bit more because that's not folded in. Okay, let's trim. So I'm going to put my lining on the way I told you before. And then I don't actually even need to running stitch across the top. I'm going to overcast stitch here, this on, and then along this line here, I'm going to just do a shallow running stitch. I won't go through to the other side because I've got plenty of layers here that I can catch. And then when I fold it up like so, and then I will be overcasting, doing an invisible stitch down the side there to hold it all together, then you're going to have the pocket in there, which is really cool. I really like that idea, and the idea did come from Katherine, but her method was different. I just wanted to put it in like this, and I actually don't even mind that. That's just like a little detail that you're going to have there, and you won't even like see it, as I mentioned. So yeah, my first job will be to stitch my lining on. That is actually going to go, it's going to kind of, I'm going to stitch it down and have it sort of sticking out a little bit, I think. And I also think I will pull out my trims to see if I want to add a little bauble trim or something along there. So that we'll address that next week, even though I'm going to be doing my showing you my closure next week. So that will be a whole video doing that. It's going to be really fun. Well, I think so. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. That is my video for this week, talking about my construction, finishing my embellishing, and next week the button, and then the week after the putting it together. So thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you again soon. Bye.